The next day, Sioana was punished and locked in the basement with only bread and water for disobeying Eli's orders. Martha tried to plead with Eli to show mercy, but he coldly reminded her that he was the master of Legbel and that she could be fired for speaking out of turn. Seeing the boy standing outside, Martha was at first angry, but then she calmed down and asked him for a favor. In the basement, Sioana heard some strange noises. When a hand suddenly popped out from under the floor, she almost died from fear. It turned out to be a secret passage that Martha had told the servant boy about, so he could check up on her. He told her that he could no longer continue as her personal servant. Sioana, surprised, asked why. Had she been too demanding? He quickly explained that it wasn't that at all. She was kind and a good mistress. It was because she was suffering because of him. She argued that it was Eli who locked her up, not him, but he continued, saying that someone of low birth like himself spending so much time with her could stain her reputation, and he was very aware of how nobility loved to gossip. Sioana pointed out that he spoke as if he knew a great deal about nobility, but he quickly changed the subject and told her once again to keep her distance from him. Frustrated, she asked if he was just like everyone else, that Eli's words meant more to him than hers. She added bitterly that she had once wished he could become a part of their family. He replied bluntly that it had been foolish of her to think so. At this, Sioana grew angry. Seeing her anger, he told her that yes, she should talk down to him, curse him, and punish him, just like that. Sioana did not like what he said, and angrily, she asked why he wanted her to act like Eli. She despised Eli's bullying nature. It gave her chills just thinking about it. Suddenly, she started hyperventilating, and Etienne had to quickly cover her mouth to help calm her down. He apologized, saying it was all his fault. Soon she fell asleep, and as he watched her, he thought to himself that this was never part of the plan. He wondered how anyone could ever bring themselves to lay a finger on her. Later, when she woke up, Etienne asked her if Eli always treated her that way. She replied coldly that it was none of his business. Then, changing the subject, she asked if he had a name. If he didn't, she said, she could give him one, because if they were going to be as close as family, she couldn't keep calling him hey. Remembering the sound of his family calling his name in their final moments, he replied quietly that he didn't deserve to have one. Sioana, undeterred, told him that it didn't matter, and surely he wouldn't want to be called a hellbird forever. He laughed softly and said that if he were her older brother, he would have taken much better care of her. Then, after a brief pause, he finally told her his name, Etienne. He asked her to keep it a secret. When she finally came out of the basement after 3 days, she had developed a fever. As she drifted in and out of sleep, she would often wake up to find a rose placed by her pillow. One time, when she caught Etienne quietly placing a rose beside her and preparing to leave, she grabbed his hand, jokingly asking how he dared creep into a lady's room. Then, more seriously, she told him that she had become accustomed to Eli's abuse, but if he stopped playing with her, her loneliness would become eternal, so he should not leave her alone. To that, he replied that he could never disobey her orders. After that, he truly did stay by her side. Seasons changed, and the two of them grew up together. Sioana was surprised at just how much he had grown in just a few years. Meanwhile, when Etienne saw her standing so close to him, he blushed deeply and, in his embarrassment, smashed his head against the wall. She asked if he was crazy, and he thought to himself that he might as well be. The Count had also returned by then. He had always noticed something dignified about Etienne, something that couldn't be hidden. He spoke to Etienne about how everyone in the Urzeka Empire was still beside themselves over a lost child from the Baronhardt noble family, a boy with blonde hair, red eyes, and who would be around the same age as him. Etienne, however, calmly replied that he was not from the Urzeka Empire and knew nothing about such stories. He found it almost unbelievable that they were still searching for him after all this time. But with his family gone, he thought bitterly. That place was no longer his home. Later, he noticed the teacher being strict with Sioana, and it made him angry. He thought to himself that he didn't care about title or fortune, because Sioana was his family now, and he would stay by her side forever.